so much, Diana, for your kind introduction and in particular also for your invitation. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'd like to speak to you about ethical artificial intelligence and education. What is the relationship between both concepts? And we know there is a long tradition in education, and artificial intelligence is now entering the floor and trying to change not only education, but the whole world. I will share the slides with you with this open license, and I'd like to encourage you to do the same. Always put an open license to everything that you are producing, that people know what they can do with it, share it with colleagues, even adapt that and republish that in a different way. Well, I don't want to waste you too much about my history. I have worked in business. I have done some work for many international organizations, including United Nations, UNESCO, European Parliament, European Commission, Council of Europe, and so on. And I was very proud to receive my very first Lifetime Award 3 weeks ago, and I was really happy that it was the one in memory of Martin Wolpers, and he did the same like me. He was also combining scientific research with practical application and with the attempt to achieve high impact in society. That's why I'd like also to give you some overview of the topic ethical AI and education, always with some recommendations what you can do in practice and what the impact towards the society can be. And here you see the group that I have visited for the very first time, and that was already more than 10 years ago. Well, I will try to skip some slides here because we are already late and I would like to be in time with the 15 minutes. That's why, just to remember you, there is already a long history related digital learning and teaching. It was called e-learning in the beginning, and there was many work that has been done already 20 years ago. I always start with an experiment, but I will skip that to keep the time. And my key message here in the experiment is always independently what you consider and how you define quality of gummy bears or of education. It has always to be done through adaptation to your specific situation and context, and that is in our cases the learning objectives and the target groups. And here we have some examples, some instruments how to do that, some frameworks that we have developed with ISO, the first international quality standard for e-learning, other frameworks here for the design and for the impact assessment. For me, it's most important if we focus innovative education, we should do it as open education. And open education means much more than open educational resources. It's just one part, one of the 9 dimensions of openness that we should discuss and address. We have a quality reference framework for the quality not only of MOOCs, but also on online courses. We have the Open Ed framework that is applied to the 3 different educational levels that are the micro level for individuals, learners, teachers, the meso level for learning design and organizations, the macro level for policymakers and society. We had some big funded projects, and Diana was also here with us. We were collaborating in many European funded projects, one of them Open Discovery Space, another one Inspiring Science Education. And my key interest is also in school education, how we can innovate school education to get rid of the curricula and the classroom, but bringing pupils together to learn in small working groups. And that is one example that is facilitating such an environment. We had also run the link conferences. That was something that also Diana was invited to and was also presenting over there. And the one starting point was here at the United Nations headquarters in Rome. We do a lot of research also in collaboration with others, and we have here some research on what we consider the impact of open education, and we have also found out how this is now changing and has to be applied for artificial intelligence. Having said that, everything can be found here on my website, and if I dive into the topic now, ethical artificial intelligence and education, I'd like also to highlight the changes in digital education. Well, if you look around in the different sectors, you can see a lot of digitalization here in the logistics, in the car production, here in agriculture, in again logistics, libraries. And what about education? In education, it's very different. You have almost nothing that's changed, and digitalization is normally in the hands of the pupils and the students. If you look at the different types of AI, we have also to say we have the theoretical distinction between strong AI and weak AI. At the moment, we only have weak AI, and that means we have only automatization. In the past, there was also this differentiation between data-driven and knowledge-based AI, but that is now coming to an end because we have more and more hybrid AI. But, and this is one of the key messages that I'd like to transfer, it's always human-to-human relationship. It is always one human being who is developing, designing, and implementing artificial intelligence. It's always one human who is providing access to artificial intelligence, and it's always one human who is using artificial intelligence and its results. That's why I'd like to summarize first. Key message, artificial intelligence is changing, and it is changing more than digitalization and COVID-19 did before, because artificial intelligence is here to stay. While we have already brought behind us COVID-19 and digitalization, you can turn it off. Well, what is ethical AI in that context, in that frame? Ethical AI, first of all, is something that is evolving and increasing, also in the number of network synapses. You see here an estimation that was already done in the year 2016 by a colleague of mine, who we are doing all the training in our university related how AI will change our university. And he has already forecast in 2016 that in 2024, we will have the number of synapses according to between mouse and cat. And it is exactly true. It's exactly that progress that you can see here now. Please note that at the y-axis, it's not an algorithm increase, but it's exponential increase. And in the year 2029, 2029 or 2030, we will have the first time that AI will have more synapses than the human brain. And this means we have only 5 to 6 years that we have now to discuss how we would like to use and what we would like to regulate. We have the AI Act, and that was already started in the year 2018 at the first speech by European Commission head von der Leyen, and it was done in 3 years. You know that there are 4 levels of risk defined by the AI Act, but unfortunately there was a 5th category that was introduced during the negotiations that is a little bit disturbing here, the application, because now everybody would like to be a general purpose AI. It has also the establishment of AI Office, and the problem here is that the AI Office can change the annexes, and the annexes are just defining what has to be done with the different AI levels. That means if you look at education, you can find it mainly in Annex 3 and mainly defined as high risk And what's about the other way, how we can also apply that education, because the AI Act is for all sectors. Well, actually, in education, we have to consider that it is a human right. There is a sustainable development calling for education for all, for equity and quality education. You have mandatory school visits and the situation that you cannot force pupils and students to learn. They only learn by themselves if they want to do so. Okay, and that means, as my second key message I'd like to highlight, we need to regulate artificial intelligence and education. Not only to say what artificial intelligence should not do, but also to say what artificial intelligence should do. We need to give clear conditions and clear frameworks to the teachers, what they can do and how they can use artificial intelligence and when they cannot do and what they cannot do with artificial intelligence. For that reason, we have already established the network ethical use of AI 2 years ago. The starting point was a German network, and I have presented that German network at the AI Ed conference in 2023 in Tokyo. And everybody was excited about it, but asking, it's only in German. And for that reason, we have established an English one, the European network on ethical use of AI, and you are kindly invited to join. We have monthly meetings, only 1 hour, and you are most welcome also to contribute here and to join our discussions. We have also produced something because what we have discovered is in our training in higher education, what is missing is a handout for beginners, for people who have no clue about artificial intelligence. You can find a lot of studies, scientific publications, guidelines and policies, but all of them are 10, 20, 100. The longest one was 500 pages. And that's why we have written the ethical use of AI in higher education as a handout for university teachers. It's already the second version that is out now. It's just 1 page with 10 statements and FAQ lists, actually not a second page, but now 4 pages. But the frequently asked questions with precise answers, plus, and that is most important for us, practice recommendations, that you know what you can do. There are proposals, how you do the very first step to use AI in an ethical way in higher education. And as I said, we need also to regulate. And for that reason, I'm very happy that the Council of Europe has established the AI and Ed expert group already 3 years ago. I'm proud and honored to be one of the members. I'm representing Germany. And here you can see us at the second conference. And the first publication that was produced is introducing and discussing artificial intelligence and education through the lens of human rights, democracy, and rule of law, the 3 core values of the Council of Europe. That was already established, as you may know, directly after the Second World War in the year 1949. And it has much more member states than the European Union. 46 countries are currently members of the Council of Europe, and they are very much focusing on human rights, democracy, and rule of law. For that reason, we have asked the ministries of education from the member states, 46 member states, and we got the mandate for international convention that is a binding law as a complementary law next to the AI Act, specifically focusing on education, and for a recommendation for AI literacy, because we always say you have to combine it. AI use in education always requires education about AI, and that is often called AI literacy. And here you see the resolution and the mandate. We have done a workshop this year at the conference AI Ed in Brazil, and we have also done a systematic literature review if you would like to learn more about it, global trends in trustworthy and ethical AI and education. The results, I can not go into details here, but you can find them also on the slides here. And here is also the direct link to that systematic literature review. And our consequences are that we have to repeat it, and we have also to focus much more on AI and education as a human right. I can give you here some more references for guidelines if you're interested in learn more about it. The first two links are related ethical use of AI, and the last two links are related to the positive as well as negative scenarios, how AI can be used and what the impact of AI can be in education. And yeah, you're most welcome also to provide feedback on them. I would be very much interested in your response to these questions here. Our society, and this is my very last point here that I'd like also to highlight because it's most important that we also broaden up our view and discussion. This is something that is already happening. And we had the COVID-19 pandemic, we had the war in Ukraine and in many other countries. We have climate change, poverty and hunger. And now artificial intelligence is coming on top of everything and even changing much more. Well, just look back. We have terrible situations in global education during the lockdowns. Only many millions of pupils could not learn, and that means 1/3 of all pupils worldwide were not able to have access to education during the lockdowns. We have international crisis, and I can also speak now for hours, but yeah, you know what is happening in the economy, in education, in media, particularly in social media and in society. We have here something that I always try to explain, but time is very limited. I only would like to tell you we have to focus much more on our ideals, on our educational visions, and to avoid that there is an exploitation or commercialization in education. We have a lot of misconceptions, and one of them I'd like to highlight here. We have no digital natives. This is a fairy tale that is still ongoing. We have something that we have also to build, and we have to build it together with our pupils and students, and that is digital literacy. And no one is born with as a digital native with full digital competences. And the future, well, if you look on something like social AI, this is just for fake chats. Within a few minutes, you can create millions of followers, and the followers are creating filter bubbles for yourself. But it's not only about the filter bubbles, but it's also about contacts. It is about creating millions of chatbots. That means the chatbots will promote you, discuss with you, but also they will discuss among themselves. And that means there will be a communication crash down in a few weeks, I suppose, in the standard social media, and we have to look what will happen. And the AI future.
Cristiano, kindly ask to go to the closing.
Yes. Okay. It's I think it's the second last slide. So that's why the AI future is, for me, most important, that we also consider what is the global impact, and we have also to see what the development of AI systems will go, and what are we dependent on a few hyperscalers as monopolists in the future. Safeguarding future of AI means also safeguarding the future of society, and this future could be that we are sitting in front of and AI is doing everything for us, but it could even other way around. It is implemented in operating systems. Okay. Key message, please focus much more ethics, democracy, and the social society. We have an UNESCO network here that is established also for that purpose. And it's about all 5 continents. Our networks, you're most welcome to join. And my key messages are here again. If you're interested, here are my contact data, here are some references and even more. And thank you so much for your attention.